2012, and we are at the home of Joe Reiss, and his last name is spelled R-E-I-S-S.
And that's not right, that's Reiss. You know that, don't you?
And we're at his home at 317 South 3rd Street, Grand Haven, Michigan. Zip code 49417. Now, Joe Reiss was born October 3, 1920, at Cheshire Township, Allegan County, Michigan. He is a World War II veteran who served in the U.S. Marine Corps. And we're conducting this interview under the auspices of the Veterans History Project at the Library of Congress, Washington, D.C., and is also being done through the local auspices of Grand Valley State University, the History Department at Allendale, Michigan. And my name as interviewer and videographer is Wallace Erickson. That's E-R-I-C-H-S-E-N. And I'm a volunteer interviewer with the History Department at Grand Valley State University. Now, Joe, what war did you serve in, and what branch of service were you in?
I was World War II, Company E, 2nd Battalion, 1st Marines.
1st Marine Division.
1st Marine, right? Yeah, but and also 1st Marines.
1st Marines, I see.
The 1st Marine Division.
You served in the U.S. Marine Corps then during World War II?
During World War II, yeah.
Okay. What was your rank and where did you serve?
I was a private first class, served at Guadalcanal, New Britain, and Peleliu.
Let me start early in your life, really pre-Marine Corps then. You had told me that your father was a blacksmith. Where were you living at that time?
About 7 miles south of Grand Haven here, a little burg called Agnew.
Oh, okay. And your father was still working as a blacksmith at that point? Okay. Where did you go to high school?
I didn't go to high school.
Okay. What was the highest grade you attained?
8th grade.
8th grade. And what school was that?
Agnew School.
Good. Were you still in school, or were you working in December 1941?
Well, no, I was in a CC camp, Civilian Conservation Corps, at Camp Walhalla.
And where was that located?
Well, that's it's actually by Baldwin. You know where Baldwin
Up in
is?
Lake County then?
Yeah, Lake County.
Yes. How long did you serve with the CCC then?
9 months.
Okay. And where were you then on December 7, 1941?
I was working at the American Brass.
In Grand Rapids or?
Grand Haven.
In Grand Haven, okay.
We made faucets for lavatories, for bathtubs, and stuff like that down here.
How old were you at that point then, in December of 41?
Well, I was 21 years old.
Okay.
I was born in 1920.
What do you remember about Sunday, December 7? It obviously affected you quite a bit.
Well, we knew that the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor.
Did you have any particular feelings about
No,
your
the
future,
feeling-
about your country?
I felt that I should go in that war.
What did your parents think about that?
My dad was dead when I was 10 years old.
How about your mother?
Well, she didn't think too much of it. She thought that I should go too. There was our country that was attacked.
And what action did you take then?
Well, I went down and I volunteered to get in the Marine Corps.
And did they take you right away then, or?
Well, they made us wait till after Christmas. And
Why was that? Weren't they geared up to take?
well, they wanted us to spend Christmas home. That's all.
So then after Christmas you went in and did you enlist or were you
I
drafted?
enlisted.
Okay. Why did you join the Marine Corps as opposed to other branches of the service?
Well, I don't know what the fellow that I was in. His dad told him, join the Marine Corps. They don't do anything. The Army's doing all the fighting.
That's not what you found, though, was it?
Well, that's right. Wasn't that right? That's what he said.
So you enlisted here then in Grand Haven?
Yeah.
Is that right?
No, Grand Rapids. We had to enlist. We had to go to Grand Rapids.
I see. Where did you go for your basic training then?
To let's see, Parris Island, South Carolina.
And how long were you there?
Well, they just taught us how to march. That's all. That's what it amounted to. Discipline. Well, I had discipline in the CC camp already.
Was it
I
several months or several weeks, or how long was it?
Well, it wasn't too long. I don't offhand remember how long we were there. We weren't there too long, and we moved to North Carolina.
What do you recall about your first days in the service when you reported for duty at Parris Island?
Well, we got a good haircut. It's all cut off.
It didn't take you very long in the barber's chair, did it?
No, he was blind. That's right.
But how about your drill instructors there?
We had good drill instructors.
Were they tough on you, or?
Well, some people thought it wasn't tough on me. You know.
Why didn't it particularly affect you hard then?
Well, things don't affect me like they do a lot of people. I come through the Depression, you know, and when you come through the Depression, you come through something.
You're used to hard times then a little bit.
Well, like I say, my dad was dead when I was 10 years old, and we didn't have nothing, so that wasn't hard for me. When I got in the CC camp, I thought I was in heaven. We got the best food that there was. Yeah.
What did you do in the CC camp?
Well, we planted trees, stood fire watch for forest fires and stuff like that. That's what we done. Built parks. We built parks.
Going back to Parris Island, your boot camp and basic training, you recall the names of any of your drill instructors or
No,
even your
I don't.
lieutenant?
I don't. We didn't have no lieutenant. We just had a drill instructor there.
Okay. But the lieutenant, was he the company commander or a platoon commander?
Well, my company commander, he was a second lieutenant, but he was my captain actually. He was my boss. So let's put it that way.
Sure. What was his name?
Rockmore.
And he understand stayed in the Marine Corps and became a.
He was a general. He became a general. I seen him in St. Louis. About what, 10 years ago, something like that. We were in St. Louis. 86. She knows that better than I do.
And he was in the hospital there, I understand.
Yeah, that's where I went to see him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me ask you about an incident where another You were a private, I believe, and there was a PFC who was choking you. Is that right?
Yeah.
What happened on that?
Well, he told me he run me up to the captain next day because I beat him up.
Why was he choking you, though?
Well, he was drunk.
Oh.
He was drunk. Come in drunk.
And what did the lieutenant?
Well, I was a private. This guy was a PFC. He says, well, I told him, I says, if he does it again, Captain, I'm going to kill him. Well, he says, if we weren't going overseas, you'd be in the brig. That's what he told me.
So you were never really disciplined for the incident, for sticking up for your
he
rights?
did. He said, I'd have you in the brig if it wasn't, we weren't going to war. He says. So.
Any other particular incidents or experiences you recall from boot camp, as far as rifle training, marching?
It didn't bother me. None of that stuff bothered me. I didn't have no problem with it.
How did you get through the training? Again, it didn't seem to bother you. Is that right?
No, it didn't bother me. I had a really good sergeant. He was really a guy. The last time I seen him, he had terminal cancer, but his name was Bernard Montgomery. That's what his name was.
Was he British?
No, he was
A field marshal, perhaps?
He was well, he got to be a colonel.
Oh.
He was a very, very smart guy. But he was my sergeant.
I was lucky to have somebody with that name.
He was really a very, very smart man.
Did he treat you and the other Marine enlistees with compassion then, or was he tough on them, or?
No, well, they weren't tough on us. I mean, I didn't think they were tough on us.
Okay,
Actually, it's all they taught us at boot camp, discipline, how to march and stuff like that. Because a lot of those guys never were in a war. Most of them, even the old salts down there, they didn't know anything.
Well, after basic training then at Camp Lejeune, where did you go? What was your next assignment then?
Well,
Not Lejeune, but after Paris Island, where did you go?
After Paris Island, went to Camp Lejeune. From Camp Lejeune, we went to San Francisco.
What did you do in Camp Lejeune? Further infantry training there? Marksmanship or what?
Oh yeah, we had. Well, I don't know. I always knew how to handle a gun. I mean, I've always had guns from the time I was young. We hunted rabbits all the time.
You were raised in rural West Michigan, so you were used to firearms, right?
Yeah.
When did you become or develop your specialty then in the Marine Corps? Was that it?
Well, they taught us, you know, what they were interested in more than anything else. When we got our rifles, when I missed the bullseye, but they were all in the same spot, so my rifle was off. You know, because you just get them, you clean them up and take them out there. You didn't even have them calibrated to hit a target.
Is that why they made you a scout sniper, because you had a good group?
Yeah, because they're all the same spot where you're hitting. You know, but that's all they wanted to know. They didn't care that you hit that the bullseye. What they were interested in, that they were all in the same spot, that they knew that you could shoot. Because I could have moved the windage over maybe a quarter point and probably would have hit the bullet,
sure.
hit the target. But I've handled guns all my life from the time I was about 10 years old.
Since you were a good shot and others were good shots,
yeah.
Did you all become scout snipers then?
No.
Several of you?
No. They taught us how to be, but they didn't teach us anything. We were to be a scout. you were always the head of your company.
You're out at the point then, right?
Point or the flank.
The point
One
of the flank.
two.
So after Camp Lejeune, you went to San Francisco and
And right into battle.
overseas.
Well, we went to Wellington, New Zealand first. Then they changed all the stuff around in the ships for us to go. Well, we didn't know we were going to Guadalcanal. We would have never. That wasn't the object of going there. For some reason, they found out that the Japanese were building an airport on Guadalcanal to bomb Australia. Because if they would have got an airport there, they could have bombed Australia.
Sure.
This way, we took Guadalcanal away from the Japs because we didn't have no. There was nobody there except the workmen, so we took it over from the
Way
workmen.
back up to Wellington, New Zealand. How long were you there in Wellington?
Well, not very long, maybe 2, 3 days, 3 days, 4 days, maybe. They just changed the equipment on the ships.
Mm-hmm.
I think they brought the tank. We had some old tanks. Well, they weren't old. They were, I forget what kind of tanks they were. Shermans? I think Sherman.
The Sherman tank, is that what you had?
I think that's what they had. They had them in the ship, so they must have brought them up so they could take them off when we were in New Zealand.
Oh, I see. So you refit a little bit.
Yeah, that was the general idea of it.
Do you remember the ship you were on, the name of the ship?
Yeah,
or-
George F. Elliott. It got sunk there.
Was that in a, what sort of vessel was that?
Yeah, well, they made it into a troop transport. I don't know
Troop transport.
where it was,
Yeah.
but you know they had all these. They had these 4-inch pipes standing up there, and when you got done sleeping, well, you just pushed them up. So there, I don't know.
So you fold
slept-
your bunks up there.
just like a sardine cans.
Right.
That's what it amounted to.
So from Wellington, then you went directly to Guadalcanal.
Yeah, that's
How
what.
did you get ashore there? How did,
We didn't have no resistance. All they had there at the time was workers on Guadalcanal.
was that an amphibious landing then that you did?
Yeah, in Higgins boats.
Higgins boats,
Yeah.
okay.
They were built in Howell, Michigan here.
I've heard of that.
The Higgins.
Yeah. But what wave were you in? Were you in a
First wave.
First wave,
Always the first wave.
because you were a scout sniper.
No, not. It was only the first wave. That's all. Even when we landed on Peleliu, that was the last campaign I was in. We had those LSTs. They run them as far as they could up the shore, and they dropped the ramp and you got off.
You're way to shore, right?
Yeah, well, they got you as far as they could go. That was good enough.
Again, landing then at Guadalcanal, you mentioned there were just workers there, Japanese workers on the island. No resistance at all then?
Not when we got there.
You remember-
Afterwards, we had a lot of battles. They should have known they were licked when we took Guadalcanal away from them. Yeah, they should have known that, but they were too. In fact, they didn't want to give up when they dropped the first atom bomb.
Do you remember what day it was when you made the landing at Guadalcanal?
August 7th, 1942.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Remember that like it's yesterday.
Well, they attacked us on December 7th, so we made the landing on August 7th, 1942. So
Did the whole division go ashore then in one day, or was it over several days, or what?
no, the Japanese had everything there. They took us there and dropped us off, and that was it.
The Navy did.
They took off.
Ships went back to sea then, right?
Well, they sunk the ship I was on, the Elliott. They took it out and sunk it because Jap plane set it afire. The one I was getting off
That was
on.
after you had left to come ashore on the Higgins boats.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many Marines went ashore then at that time?
Well, just the 1st and the 5th Regiment. The 7th was on Samoa yet. We didn't have a full division there.
Did you have an artillery regiment with you, or?
The 11th, yeah. The 11th
Marines.
was with us, yeah. And
Where did you set up your base then ashore?
first they were going to what they call Grassy Knoll up there. It was up in the up on a mountain there. Well, we didn't get there very far, and then we set up right up on the beach. Everything.
So you were near the beach then?
They took the airport away from the workers that were Japanese, and they built our airport down there.
How far developed was the airport that the Japanese had made? They have aircraft coming and going? Were they using the runway and all?
No, they weren't used any of it. The thing was, it was kind of a messy place there. They used our fighters took off on mats, steel mats. You know, when it rained, and it didn't rain ever. Somebody said it rained and rained. Well, I can't remember that. I can only remember one rain, and lots of times it would rain for probably 10 minutes. We'd take a shower and it rained that hard. It would rain that hard, we'd take a shower. Otherwise, you were always, we bathed in the ocean. You always had that salt on you. Never come off, see? So
just like the tropics, it just pours when it pours and lets up, then the sun comes out again.
10 minutes, and it really come down.
Yeah.
But I don't remember it raining that much.
Did you see actual combat though, coming ashore, or within the first few days ashore?
No, we had a lot of combat afterwards. We had a lot of combat. The worst one we had, we shot all night and we shot a cow. That was, I can remember that. And then this guy that we had down there, he was from, I think, West Virginia. He skinned it all out, and he gave all some piece of meat. That meat was moving all the time, even after it was dead, because you couldn't eat it. It was that tough, you know.
They'd been around for a while, huh?
Oh no, that's the way it is. When you know, if you take any meat, the flesh moves till it gets cool.
Sure.
So yeah.
Well, the Japanese that were ashore, building the field, did they have combat troops ashore?
Them were Korean troops that they had working there, and we didn't have no combat there until afterwards. We had a lot of combat afterwards.
Was it later that the Japanese landed combat divisions ashore?
Sure. We killed 1,400 of them in the air from here across the street. All a bunch. And it was right on the beach. There was a little creek running through, but you could walk across it where the ocean, where the outlet was. You could. Well, it was only probably about that deep. It wasn't. They called it the Tenaru, but it wasn't the Tenaru. It was the Longa River, but they were mixed up with the. So
the Japanese came down through the river then?
Well, they come in from the other side there, and that was their Imperial Marines. We got rid of them quick. 1,400 of them we killed in. The guy I was with, he says, they're all in the back of us. And I told him, you're crazy, there ain't nothing. But they were in the back of us, too. Well, we didn't lose too many men. I think we killed 1,400 of them. I think altogether we had about 20 casualties. And I can only recall, the guy I was a rifleman for was Johnny Rivers and Smith. Rivers was an Indian, and they were machine gunners, and we were the riflemen. But Rivers got killed, and Schmidt was blinded because they threw a hand grenade in there. In that machine gun pit. I recall that pretty well. But this guy that I was with, his name was Decina. He was from Paducah, Kentucky. That's just across the Illinois border. I was with him, he was with me, or I was with him all the time. But we were the riflemen for trying to protect them. And we did protect them, but the only thing is we couldn't stop their grenade that they threw. They threw right in the pit.
Now, as a scout sniper, did you have a special weapon, or what sort of weapon did you have?
The 03 bolt action.
So you didn't even have
We
the
didn't
M1
have the
Garand then?
M1s.
You had the
Old bolt action.
bolt action,
Yeah.
single shot.
No, it wasn't a single shot, but you had to have a bolt. It held a clip of 5 or 6 bullets. I forget. They were in a kind of a little rack, like you'd pull your bolt back,
Sure.
and then slip them in, and what held them together would drop out.
Now, did all infantrymen have that? The 03, that's an infield, is that right?
Springfield.
Springfield. Okay. Did all infantrymen have that bolt action Springfield, or?
We didn't have M1s yet.
Okay.
Well, I never had them until we were on Peleliu. And then that thing, it'd get hot and jam. Yeah, it did.
That's the same thing we said about the M16 in Vietnam.
yeah.
They get hot and jam. We didn't like them.
Yeah. Well, at least, if you had that old 03, if you let it cool a little bit, you could hardly pull the bolt back, but at least you could shoot it.
Sure.
Yeah, I never seen an M1 until we went to Peleliu.
Now, did you stay throughout the night? For instance, did you stay in a foxhole, or were you mentioned you were in a machine gun position? Was that
Well, you're talking about Guadalcanal.
Guadalcanal, right?
No, we were on the outside. They had the machine gun pits. H Company was the machine gunners.
Oh, I see.
Every company had water cooled. I think one water cooled, and our
Browning machine gun?
yeah, water.
Oh.
But our machine gun had light machine guns.
Oh,
They weren't water cooled.
okay.
And we had that was right in our company. But each company was a company by itself. But each company had
A weapons platoon. Right?
weapons
Right.
that.
Were there many casualties in your company then?
No, it wasn't not on Guadalcanal.
Okay.
I'm doing something I shouldn't be doing.
Well, that's all right.
No, we didn't have very many casualties. We had a doctor killed. In fact, in one of them books, there's the graveyard is there, isn't it? In a picture of one of them. It seems to me like the graveyard in Guadalcanal. In our company, there wasn't very many guys killed at all.
Okay.
In our company.
How long were you on Guadalcanal before they took you off again?
Oh, till December, from August 7th till December 18th or something like that.
Okay.
But by that time, we were starved. We didn't have nothing to eat. They didn't get.
What sort of rations did you have? Did you have K rations or?
Didn't have no rations. We were hungry down there. We had one little guy by the name of Fox. He was from Grand Rapids. And I don't know where he was a real good friend of mine. He was just a little guy, but he was broad. And he had some big gasoline drums cut in two. And he sandbagged them and he made us bread. Yeah. And boy, were we lucky to get bread.
So he made it
His
into
name
an
was
oven.
Don Fox. I remember that little guy. He married some Australian girl. Boy, he was a good
His name
cook.
was Tom Fox, is that right?
Don.
Or Don Fox.
Don
all right.
Fox.
I thought he might be the jeweler from Grand Rapids.
No,
Remember that name, Tom Fox?
yeah, I remember that.
Okay. This is
But
Don
anyway,
Fox.
I think he stayed in Australia. Where did I go from Australia? New Britain, I think. Yeah, they went from Australia, went to New Britain. Then we stayed on the island of Pavuvu.
Okay, in mid-December then of 42, you came off of Guadalcanal, and then you went to
Australia.
And what
To
city-
Melbourne.
Oh, I see. And what did you do there then?
Well, we just rested there, and we were in the cricket ground there. The cricket ground.
Did you refit? I mean, equipment that was to be surveyed, you got rid of, and got new equipment, or?
Oh, we were in bad shape because MacArthur, we were under MacArthur for a while, and he gave us all new uniforms. We didn't have no uniforms, no nothing, when we got off of Guadalcanal. And we were starved, you know. We had good food in Australia, though. They gave us good food. We built up quick.
And you got new uniforms. I assume they were Army uniforms from MacArthur?
Yeah, they were Army uniforms. I didn't care much about them. They were a lot heavier than our uniforms. We didn't even have no back pockets, if you know. You know that?
Huh.
In the Marine Corps? We didn't have back pockets.
Early on, they didn't have.
Not in our
back
trousers. No. In fact, I had some of them here one time.
How long did you spend in Australia then, in Melbourne?
Oh, God. 3 months, 3.5 months probably, if we were there that long. I don't really remember how long we stayed.
From there, you got on a ship again to go to New Britain. Is that right?
Where did we go from there? Yeah, we went to New Britain then.
What type of ship were you on then when you left Melbourne? Do you recall the name of the ship or anything?
George F. Elliot. But now when we left, the Elliot was sunk on Guadalcanal.
Right.
What the other ship was on, I don't know, but we scraped bottom, I don't know for how long. I don't know how we ever got through there, how that captain got through there.
Was it an LST then, or?
No, it's a troop ship.
Troop ship, APA?
And we scraped bottom for, I bet you, two solid days. Well, where he took us, I don't know. But,
did you make a amphibious landing again on in New Britain?
yeah, we landed at way down the bottom part. It was called Sag Sag.
Sag Sag?
Sag Sag.
SAG, SAG?
SAG, SAG. And that was I think our battalion landed there. I don't know how many of us landed there, but there was nothing there. Well, then the Army was across from us. They were at Arroway. We were at Sag Sag and they were at Arroway, and then they were supposed to walk through that jungle and meet.
And the airport was in the middle,
stopped. Right? Our general wouldn't allow that. He didn't allow that we were going to walk through the jungle. Well, you know, the Army walked on New Guinea through the Owen Stanley Mountains. And what in the hell did they go there for? Because that didn't even make sense. That's all they done. They took all the pep out of these guys. There was nothing left when they got through there.
The Owen Stanley's there was a high mountain, wasn't it? Was that the Red Arrow Division that made that march?
No, well, the guy I knew was Billy Plastic. You remember Billy? Yeah. He went through there. He says, I don't know what the hell we went through there for. He says, yeah.
Well, your landing then in New Britain, was that opposed by the Japanese at all?
No.
It doesn't sound like it was.
Well, they had emplacements all over there.
Oh.
They had emplacements all over there, but I don't know. We had, every so often they get so many guys, we would go in there at night, and then we'd see if anything was there. Mm-hmm. And we always tried to land where they weren't.
Were the Japanese protecting an airport there on New Britain, or not?
Well, at what was that? I can't remember the name of that place, but the Australians used to use that as that one place as what the hell did they use that for? Oh, they'd go there and have a good time, I guess. The Aussies. Well, huh?
As a resort.
Yeah, they use it as a resort. It was a nice island. New Britain's a nice island.
How long were you then on New Britain then before they took you off?
Oh, let's see. We landed there Christmas Day. over in it would have been a Christmas Day on in the States, but you lose a day.
43.
You lose it as soon as
That's
you
right, yeah.
you lose.
International date line is between you and the States.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, that's. Yeah, we were there. We landed there Christmas Day, and I don't know them goofy ships we had that we were on there. I forget what kind of ship that was. It was like they had a ladder on it. There was little ships. They weren't like the ships that I was on. You climb down the net and into Higgins boats. These were little ships. I don't know what kind they even were.
Were you there several months or weeks then on
Well, we were there
New Britain?
on Christmas Day, and then it seemed to me, let's see, we were there quite a while. We must have been there 3-4 months, I would say. I'd say, I'm not sure. It's all in that book. I don't remember though.
Okay.
But you take, you could, on New Britain, you could take them and drive a pipe in the side of a hill and get warm water. I mean, hot water.
It was that damp.
New
that
Britain's
much
hot. Hey, that's right under the equator.
Mm.
It was hot there.
Then from New Britain, where did you go?
Well, we were on a.
Solomon Islands?
There was an island that was called Good Enough Island we were on. I don't know when that was. I can't remember where that was no more. But anyway, you look up in the mountains on there, you could see, when it rained, you could see the river coming down. That was neat. That was neat. Then we would, was that, yeah, that was New Britain. No, that was Good Enough Island, I think.
It was good enough then before you landed at New Britain?
No, afterwards.
Okay.
But that island, they had some, mountains on it, and you could, we'd go, there was a place there was nothing there to speak of on New Britain. They had them, but they had, we never really took all of New Britain. We had a few battles there, and there were just stragglers was more, but there was a place there, it was hot, but you get in some of these places, there were streams, they come down probably about 40, 50 feet, and you'd freeze down there. It was so cold, it would get that cold there. Yeah.
When did you go to the Solomon chain of islands? Pavuvu?
Pavuvu?
Right.
That was just off of Guadalcanal.
Oh, I see.
That was before we left for Peleliu.
Oh.
Just before we left for Peleliu.
Were you there very long on Pavuvu?
Well, we were there quite a while, but it was an island. They had I don't know what they had cattle on there. Hell, you could count every rib in their body, because there was no water.
Oh.
I mean, no fresh water.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a whole herd of animals on there. And another thing they had 5 million rats. At night, well, we had mosquito nets. They'd be all over your mosquito nets and stuff. And soon as the light disappeared, they were on you. As soon as the light come on, you didn't find one of them, no place. Yeah. Rats and small crocodiles, that's all that was there.
How large were the small crocodiles?
Well, they're only about so big. I
3
think
feet or
that's,
so?
whether it was an alligator or a crocodile, I don't know, they're all the same to me. But they were little ones, there was no big one. I think they come there till they laid their eggs, because that water was just as clear as crystal there on Pavuvu.
So the crocodiles didn't give you any problem?
No.
Or small ones?
Rats is what bothered you more than anything else. And they didn't really bother you. I mean, but they walked all over your net. Why we didn't get sick or anything, I don't know.
Did you get enough to eat then on
On Peleliu?
on Peleliu, and
Yeah, I guess
were supplies getting a little bit better then?
well, we had pretty good chow. Otherwise, I mean, we had one company or one colonel on New Britain that brought us hot chow right on the lines. Yeah, and his brother got killed, and he was a pilot. His brother got killed. He was kind of he didn't. I can't explain how he was, but you know, he had a couple of guys change the trees down there. I don't know why, but these guys went over and they told him. They says, "We want to go with our guys. We want to go. We're not going to kill you." He's done. So he had them change their trees for something. I forget what the hell it was all about. I don't remember why they done that to him.
Do you remember the colonel's name on
no, I don't remember his name. I forgot if I read it in the book, because they'd all be in that book there.
Okay, after Peleliu Island, where did you go?
After Peleliu, we went to Peleliu.
Just direct, right from Peleliu to
Well, we
Peleliu?
stopped at Guadalcanal for something, and then they gave me two BR groups, and I'm a PFC, and they gave me two BR groups, and I told them, I says, I'm a PFC. I'm not supposed to have no.
So they made you in charge of two.
Yeah,
groups
but
of
the thing of
riflemen?
it was, this captain, he says, he told me, he was my captain, he says, well, you've been in 2 campaigns already. He says, I ain't got nobody to train me any better than what you are. Well, hell, when we got to Peleliu, there was only one left. Then the other one got killed. He was a little, one of them was a little Italian. He was going to wreck the whole Japanese army quick. And I never seen him after. I told him I never knew if he got killed or what. But
Was your landing on Peleliu opposed then by the Japanese?
yeah, where we were, it was. I made it okay. I mean, I was in the first wave. I got to the airport probably a hour afterwards. I hit the airport already.
You were in the first wave again coming ashore.
I was always in the first wave. I don't know. I think it was a good wave though, because I never really got hurt there. But you know, then what happened on Peleliu, the Japanese let the first wave go over.
Oh, yeah.
And they figured, well, if they they'll let the first wave in, they could get the second wave and then take us out whenever they felt like it. That Peleliu it was all rock. That's all it was. You couldn't dig no place. I was out there one night. I was contact man to K Company. I don't know where the hell K Company was, but I was on the airport, and then the Navy started shooting them damn rockets on the airport, and I laid there flat on the airport. And I don't know where K Company was. Never did find out where K Company was.
You were supposed to link up with them
Yeah.
on your flank?
Yeah. We had a guy by the name of Peck from Grand Rapids. He was a sergeant, and he come along with a damn string. He says, now, if you guys hear anything, he says, pull that string. And I told him, I said, he was always in the office someplace. He never was in combat. He was always in the office. So they put him on the lines, and you know, when you're in the Marine Corps, you take orders, you know they're wrong, but you just keep your mouth shut. But I told him, he had this long piece of twine, and he says, if you hear anything, he says, you pull that string. Well, hell, that string would be pulled all night. You know, when they shoot flares up in the sky, it's an eerie damn light. It's like you see on television, like a bunch of damn ghosts. You know, that eerie light. It's green like, you know. Well, he he got shot that night. He got killed. And I told him, I says, you shouldn't do that. I says, you can't walk along these guys. You got a bunch of boots here that never were in combat. He got killed that night. One of our guys probably killed him.
Because he was up walking around while the flares were going off?
Well, that was the idea. He was, you always have somebody checking, that everything is all right, but you don't give them strings to pull on if there's somebody around, But he got killed. Yeah.
How long were you on Peleliu then, Joe?
I was only on Peleliu about 3 or 4 days.
That's when you got wounded, is that right?
That's when I got shot, yeah.
Where were you shot? Where were you wounded?
Well, I got shot through here, come out here, and I got shot up here. And my head was full of shrapnel.
So your left hand, the finger?
Well, it's pretty good. I can, but that's where it comes. See how it come out here. That's a piece of shrapnel there. Then this one, if that was 2 inches square. If that would have hit me straight, it took my hand off. That one, but it just grazed it. It took, but I grabbed my arm here, and then I got shot over here. I was bleeding there. That's all.
So you were evacuated then from Peleliu, is that right?
I walked off. I figured I got that far, I'm going to walk the rest of the way.
Did you take a ship off then, or a boat? Or?
Well, no, I walked back to the ship, or down to the ocean. We were in quite a ways. My captain got shot the same time I got shot. Well, then I got aboard that ship, and I heard a guy hollering for water. It was my captain, so I brought him some water. He was shot in the back, though. I just got shot in the arm and the hand.
Did he survive the war then, or not?
Yeah, he was from Kentucky. Yeah, he was from. I got aboard the same ship he was on. Then they transferred me from that ship. They transferred me to the Henderson. That was a hospital ship, the Henderson. And went back to Guadalcanal from there.
Did they have a hospital ashore then at Guadalcanal at that point?
Would they what?
Did they have a hospital ashore at Guadalcanal at that point?
Oh, the Army had a good hospital there, great big hospital. Yeah.
That's where you're treated, I'm assuming, then, is that right?
Yeah, the Army was there.
Right.
Yeah.
After the hospital then at Guadalcanal, where did you go?
Come home.
Back to San Francisco?
Yeah, back to San Francisco, just where I left from. Yeah. And I got aboard one of them DC-3s or C-47s, whatever you want to call them. Took us all night to get from San Diego to Chicago. All night flight. Yeah.
And you went to Great Lakes Naval Training Depot then at Chicago?
To the hospital down there,
Okay.
I stayed there, and when the war, I got out the day the war was over. But hell, the captain had my discharge already down there.
So you were there in the hospital then how long at Great Lakes?
Oh, let's see, I got there in March. Yeah, March, April, May, and part of June.
Into June. In June is when you were discharged.
Yeah, well, the war was
June of 45.
over with Europe, and they dropped the bombs on Japan, and that was it. Yeah.
When you were in the hospital at Great Lakes, Illinois, did they want to discharge you from the Marine Corps?
Well, that's who discharged us. We're part of the Navy.
Right.
We're their flunkies. They drop us off and take off.
But did you want to get better and go back on duty? And
well, I wanted to go. I thought I could get back, but they didn't want me. Yeah. I was lost for quite a while, for about a month before I got back. Well, you get back, you you're used to uniforms. You feel like you're in a zoot suit again.
So from Great Lakes, Illinois, you came back here to
Yeah.
Haven then?
Yeah, I got the discharge. This tells you how much money they gave me to come back from Illinois to here. 10 cents a mile, I think it was. Yeah.
I'm assuming then you were not a prisoner of war at any time, is that right?
No.
Okay.
No.
Were you awarded any individual combat citations or medals
No.
other than Purple Heart?
Well, yeah, but they would throw them around like out of a bushel basket. But I never did get one. Mark got it for me, didn't he?
Mark got all your medals.
There were so many. We had so many casualties on New Britain. We were walking over the, or not New Britain, but Peleliu. We were walking over the dead.
So Mark, your son, got the medal for you,
Well,
Purple Heart.
he wanted. He got it for go have for little Joe. He says. Yeah.
Let me just ask you about life in the military, and particularly overseas. How did you keep in touch with your family then? when you
Never
were-
kept in touch. Well, we were at home. We had V-mail. You know what the V-mail was?
Photographic
Yeah,
negatives? All right.
they're just a little envelope, I guess, it was, whatever it was. And we had one guy that censored them all. He was, I forget his name.
So you were able to write whenever you wanted to then?
Oh yeah, we could write. I didn't write very much. Hell, I didn't. I just had well, just my mother was home alive. My dad was dead. Well, I think my brother John was in the Army way before I was in the Marine Corps. He didn't get out till 1940, almost 47. He went in with the first draft. My brother John.
Oh,
But he was on. He was in Alaska. I don't know where he was at.
Okinawa.
And yeah, he ended up on Okinawa.
kind of toward the end of the war then.
Yeah.
Did you have any other family that served in World War II? Other than
Well,
your brother John?
no. My brother George, he was Leo. But he was in Air Corps. He was. He taught. What the hell did he take? He taught link trainer
Oh,
in Boulder, Colorado, was it?
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, he drove them little planes, I guess.
so he never served overseas. He was an instructor and
Yeah.
an instructor.
Yeah, that's all he was. Then George, as soon as I got out, my brother George, they got him, and he went to Germany right away. But the war was over. When I got out, the war was over.
So George was in the Army then, is that right?
Yeah. And then he had pneumonia real bad. Because he was in a hospital. As soon as he got in there, he had pneumonia in Germany. So, oh yeah. But John, he must have been in the service from 1939 till almost 1947, wasn't it?
Quite a period.
But he was in so he had something to do with trucks, stuff like that.
Let me ask you, Joe, about getting supplies. Did you have plenty of ammunition? You mentioned on Guadalcanal you didn't have very much food. But how about other supplies? Were you able to get supplies routinely?
Well, as long as the Japanese were around there, if they come in with a ship, soon as they knew the Japanese were coming, they took off. Because we didn't have no ships there. We didn't have no ships there from August till probably the latter part of October. There were just Japanese ships flying up and down the beaches.
Did you get supplies in by air then, by C-47 or?
We didn't have no supplies.
have supplies.
That's why I told you we were as yellow as that picture there from Atterburn. They gave us a lot of Atterburn.
So you wouldn't get malaria.
I don't know. I never got malaria till I got bit by a damn tarantula, right on the belly. I made a shack out of those big leaves, those elephant leaves, you know, because it was raining on New Britain. That's where I got bit there, and I felt that thing under my jacket. Well, if I wouldn't have whacked him, he wouldn't have got me either. But you don't want that under your jacket, something like that.
You felt something crawling under there.
Well, but they're not deadly. Maybe some little kid or something.
But you got
like
malaria then from a tarantula?
Well, I think my resistance was down by that time.
Sure.
You know, from being from one island to the other all the time, and then I got malaria. That was the first time I got malaria. The first time I took quinine knocked me out. When I got quinine, you know you can't buy quinine.
Not anymore. Now they have other
Why?
drugs.
Well, do you know why? I think that was really a good pill, because I took it for a long time after I was out of service, because I had malaria, and I didn't get malaria until I was almost out. But after that spider bit me, you know, of course I wasn't on Peleliu very long. I was only out there for 3-4 days.
I see.
See?
Let me ask you, Joe, how did you handle stress or pressure? Did you feel stress and pressure
No,
when you were
never
overseas?
doubted my mind that we were going to win the war. What the hell? I was 21 years old.
You're really too young maybe to feel stress.
It never occurred to me that we wouldn't win the war.
Did you do anything particularly for good luck?
No, just same old stuff. We had some guys on Guadalcanal. They had a pipe there, and they were going to wash their clothes, boil them, you know. Mm-hmm. It was a Bangalore torpedo. Killed 3 of them. The Japs had them, you know. Use them for blowing up barbed wire.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they thought it was just a pipe. Well, it was full of
explosives.
Yeah, it killed 3 or 4 of them. I forget how many it killed. Oh, we had one guy by the name of St. Louis down there. He'd go along. The Japanese had a lot of gold teeth. He had a old herb sack full of gold. Yeah.
How did you entertain yourselves?
We didn't have no entertainment.
You didn't have USO shows coming by on a regular basis?
No, we didn't. I never seen a USO there. Though we had that in Australia, the USO, you know. But there was nobody coming on in those islands. It'd be nuts to go on those islands.
Did they greet you at San Francisco at all with a USO show or anything?
I wasn't in San Francisco very long, but when I was there, that was one beautiful city. For San Francisco, they say now it's all, well, the queers chased the blacks out of there. That's right. That's what they claim. I don't know how true it is, but.
When you were in Australia and New Zealand also, were you given leave at all? Could you leave?
Well, I wasn't in New Zealand maybe 4 or 5 days at the longest, and well, we had a lot of leave in Australia. We were stationed in the cricket ground. That's almost downtown.
Mm-hmm. So you and your friends could take off.
Oh, yeah, we get leave. We could get leave.
Did you go any great distance at all from Melbourne, or?
Well, we went to what was the name of that town? We were stationed out there for a while. I don't know why half of them guys didn't get killed. We were stationed outside of Australia. We had to take that train, you know. And half of these guys that were on that train would get drunk, and someone would say to them, "Well, we were off." I forget the name of that place, but somebody hollered at these guys were drunk and jump off that damn train going yet. I don't know why they didn't get killed, half of them. There was an electric train. I forget the name of that place too. Yeah.
Do you recall any particular humorous or unusual events, during your service? Either in Australia or while you're
No,
deployed?
no, I never heard of anyone dying in Australia, of our guys. Maybe they did. We had a big hospital there. But I never heard of anybody dying there.
Was there anything particularly humorous that happened to you or that happened to others? Did you pull any pranks, for instance? You or your fellow Marines pull any pranks on others in the military?
No, no. The only funny thing, there was a guy. He was he was out of New York, and he was a, what do you call these guys that try on clothes? Model. He was a model. He was we were in, I forget, I don't know what island we were on. I think maybe it was it was on New Britain, but he come out of his tent. You made your own check if you could find anything, and
Now this is tape number 2, our interview with Joe Reiss. He was a World War II veteran in the U.S. Marine Corps. And this is being recorded on February 16, 2012, at Joe's home in Grand Haven, Michigan. And I, the interviewer, am Wallace Erickson, Jr., a volunteer interviewer with the History Department at Grand Valley State University, Allendale, Michigan. This interview is being done as part of the Veterans History Project at the Library of Congress, Washington, D.C. Now let's see, Joe, we were talking about some unusual events and humorous events, pranks and things like that you recall from the Marine Corps.
we didn't play pranks on each other in the service at all. The one I seen one time was we had these great big lizards. You seen the big lizards? They're about that high. They're tall.
About 3 or 4 feet high.
Well, there one crawled into this guy out of New York. He was a model, male model, you know. He come flying out of there, and some guy took a shot at him because we thought that was humorous. It wasn't humorous to him, though, I'll tell you.
Did he get hit?
No. No, but it's lucky he didn't kill somebody, you know, because there's a lot of people around. But he come out of that little shack that he had made for himself to sleep in, because whatever you made on Guadalcanal, you found something that would keep you from getting wet, and that's all there was to it, you know. And when it rained, you know, and at night, anyway, no matter how warm it is, if you got it rained on all night, you're cold, you know. There's no two ways about it. But that's about all. But otherwise, nobody played pranks on each other.
Did you have a camera when you were overseas? Did
No.
you take photographs?
We didn't have nothing because, like I say, our Navy took off because most of the Navy was in the Atlantic, not in the Pacific. You know, that's where most of it was.
Did you keep a personal diary at all when you were overseas?
No.
What did you think of your fellow officers and fellow soldiers, fellow Marines, I guess?
Oh, they were all. I had a lot of respect for them. Yeah, all of them. They were. You can't even get in the Marine Corps now unless you got a high school education. Here I'm an old 8th grader. But if they need you bad enough, they'll take you. Don't worry. You don't have to worry about that.
After your discharge from the Marine Corps at Great Lakes hospital in Chicago. What did you do for the next several weeks after that?
Well, I found a job right away. And jobs were easy to get.
Where was that? Where did you work initially?
Well, to start, I worked at the American Brass. That used to be just down the end of this street here.
That was the company you had worked for
Yeah.
prior to going into the Marine Corps,
Yeah,
right?
but they were making antennas, I guess, for radios and stuff like that. They weren't making no more faucets and bathtub fixtures like what I did. Yeah. So, but there were now, you know, everything you get is brass, is plastic. All your faucets, everything's plastic. Even your kitchen faucet, that's plastic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's just as good. What they do, they put a cover over it and nothing but a copper tubing inside. That's all there is to it now.
Did you go back to school at all after
No.
getting out of the military?
No, I met Susie.
Did you make any close friendships while you were in the service, people that you kept in touch with?
Oh yeah, but they're all dead now. I'm the only one left. No, Kelly's still alive. I guess I'm going to call him tonight. He's in Georgia. See if he's still alive.
What's his name? Kelly, you mentioned his name?
Yeah.
What position was he in the Marine Corps?
Well, he was a machine gunner. He carried a light machine gun. He was in our company.
Where does he live now?
He lives in Georgia,
Oh,
Savannah.
Savannah. Yeah, right down on the ocean there almost.
so you've kept in touch with him over the years?
Yeah, I haven't talked to him for about close to a year now. I got to call him. There was one in Virginia, Paul. I haven't, but he talks so light I couldn't. I don't even call him because I can't hear him.
What was his name?
Powell,
Powell?
Cecil Powell.
Cecil Powell?
Yeah,
What's your friend's name in Georgia then?
Kelly,
Tony.
Tony Kelly,
Tony
Anthony Kelly. Yeah. He talks. He says to my son. He says, "I was in the war with your daddy." He says. Nice guy though, isn't he? He's a nice guy.
Did you join any veterans organizations after the war?
I belonged to the VA for a while, and I just quit. I don't drink, you know. I don't smoke. I can't. I don't know.
I'm sorry, what organization did you join for a while?
I was down to the vets here, the veterans downtown here.
The VFW.
Yeah,
Veterans of Foreign Wars, VFW?
that's the only one.
In
I
Grand
do.
Haven then.
They were after me for so long, but I don't drink. I don't smoke. I have a glass of wine once in a while, but I mean, I'm not a drinker. I'm not a smoker.
So I think you're saying you're not a carouser then, right?
Well,
He belonged to the 1st Marine Division Association.
Oh,
He's a lifetime member of the DAV. He belonged to the Guadalcanal Association.
the Guadalcanal Association you're a member of, and the 1st Marine Division Association?
oh yeah,
Is that right? Okay.
the old breed it's called. That's right. That's just what it's called, the old breed.
The title of the book.
Yeah.
What did you do in your civilian career after the war?
Well, you worked. That's all I did. Worked.
What company did you spend 27 years at?
Bastion Blessing.
Bastion Blessing?
Blessing.
And what did they make?
Well, we made what I've done down there. I've done a lot of soldering. I've done a lot of assembly. I worked in layout. I mean, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to do that.
What was their end product?
Kitchen equipment.
Kitchen equipment.
We made hoods, great big stainless steel hoods. We made big sink pots for big, some out of 14 gauge steel. Now that's heavy steel. And some of it was even 12 gauge.
This is stainless steel, is that right?
Stainless steel.
That's tough stuff.
Well, the steel we used, a mag wouldn't touch it. That's how pure it was.
McDonald's.
Huh?
For McDonald's.
Yeah, we had McDonald's, but some guy screwed that all up. One of them, or what happened there? He tried to go in with Burger King. Well, you don't do that. You don't do that.
You also made fountain equipment, is that right? Soda fountain equipment at Bastion Blessing?
Oh, we made all kinds of equipment for. Well, we made a lot of soda fountains. A lot of there was different stuff where we made. There was certain stuff that was made for a certain company, and we made their stuff. You know.
Now, Joe, when did you get married, and what is your wife's name?
Davis.
Her first name?
Louise.
Commonly known as?
Huh?
What do most people know her as?
Susie.
When did you get married then? What year?
1948.
Okay. How many children did you have?
5. 5, yeah.
And your oldest son, his name is?
Joe.
Like you, Joe?
Yeah.
And where does he live now?
He lives down on south, just a little bit southeast of town here.
In Grand Haven Township?
In the township, yeah.
Okay.
O'Brien Court.
And he's married, I understand, and has
Oh,
a boy
yeah.
and a girl?
A boy and a girl. They all have a boy and a girl.
And your second son, who I understand is now deceased, his name?
Michael.
Okay. Was he married? Did he have any children?
Yeah, he had a boy and a girl, and his son drowned on a pier.
That's Grand Haven then?
Yeah.
What was your grandson's name that drowned?
Danny.
Danny.
That's him up there in the corner there. That's Danny.
And then your third child,
Marilyn. She's in Wisconsin.
in Appleton, Wisconsin, is
Yeah.
that right?
All right.
Yeah. How many children does she have?
2, boy and a girl. They all got a boy and a girl. Every one of them.
Okay, and then number 4,
He's what?
your fourth
Matt?
child, Matthew.
Matt, yeah.
And where does he live?
Up in Hudsonville. He works for
L3
L3 Communications.
Up by the airport.
I
You
see.
know what that is? L3 I don't know either. But they have a lot of stuff. That L3 Communications has a lot of stuff in Muskegon that has something to do with these big magnetos.
Oh,
In Muskegon, they have that. I think they're running that where the old tank plant was there. Where they, I forget, what was the name of that plant? Continental.
Continental Motors in
Yeah.
Muskegon.
I think that's where that is.
Now your fifth child, the youngest, is
Mark?
Mark.
Yeah.
And what does he do for a living?
He's the chief of police.
Where?
Ohio?
In Riverside, Ohio,
I don't know, is it Riverside?
which is the home of the National Museum of the Air Force. Have you been through that museum?
No, I'm not very familiar with Ohio.
And how many children does Mark have?
2. They all got 2. We all got a boy and a girl.
And I understand Mark formerly served with the Grand Haven Department of
Yeah.
Public Safety. Is that right?
Yeah. He's a big,
Okay, Joe, who's in the photograph here?
that's Danny.
That was your son that was,
That was my grandson.
your grandson, I'm sorry, that was killed on the pier at
Yeah,
Grand Haven.
he probably hit his head while going when he slipped off.
So he was washed off in
Yeah, they were on the end of the
seas?
pier. That's all stones down there. I think that's what happened to him. I'm not sure, but
Now, Joe, did your military experience influence your thinking about war or about the military in general?
no, I don't think so. I looked at it this way: we were attacked, and it was my duty to protect my country. That's all.
So duty first.
Well, hey, I had a brother-in-law. His arm was like that was her brother. His arm like this. He had to fight his way in, but he went. He was in Germany.
Mm.
So.
Did you attend any reunions, like the 1st Marine Division?
Oh yeah,
Association
we
reunion?
used to. We used to, but there's not many of us left.
You're pretty much one of the few survivors, right?
Yeah, not many left.
How did your service and experience affect your life later on?
Didn't affect it at all. Not that I know of. I come home, and when I left, she was 12 years old. When I come back, I waited a couple of years and married her.
Is there anything else you'd like to add that, or cover here, that anything that we didn't talk about?
No, I think I got one of the best wives in the world, so I can't. I'm not complaining.
That helps.
I'm not complaining.
Well, Joe, I would like to thank you for participating in the Veterans History Project at the Library of Congress. I certainly am appreciative of your service in the U.S. Marine Corps in World War II. Like you mentioned, there are not too many of you left anymore.
No, there isn't.
So I feel very lucky to have been able to interview you.
Well, the last time somebody said we were dying 900 a day. Now we're dying 700 a day because there ain't so many left.
I might just add that this interview on February 16, 2012, at Joe Reiss's home in Grand Haven, Michigan, is being conducted as part of the Veterans History Project at the Library of Congress, Washington, D.C. And also participating in the Veterans History Project is the History Department at Grand Valley State University, Allendale, Michigan. And I, as the interviewer and videographer, am Wallace Erickson, a volunteer interviewer with Grand Valley State University. Thank you, Joe Reiss.
Well, you're welcome. Yeah, you're very welcome.
Joe Reiss. Joe, what is this document before us here?
That's a discharge.
Discharged from the U.S. Marine Corps, right?
Right.
And I understand you had it recorded at the county clerk's office?
Yeah.
Was that here in Grand Haven,
Right.
in Ottawa County?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is the reverse of your honorable discharge document. What sort of information is recorded on this then, Joe?
Well, it tells me more or less what when I enlisted into the Marine Corps. What I can do mostly. I was an expert with a bayonet, a rifle. That's about what it says about what I can do. I was wounded in action on September 18, 1944. And that was on Peleliu. On September 15th of 1944.
Here it's got your signature at the bottom left, right?
Yeah, right.
Now, Joe, this book called The Old Breed is about the 1st Marine Division, is that right?
About the 1st Marine Division, yeah. Mostly Guadalcanal and New Britain.
Now, Joe, this is a photograph inside the book, The Old Breed. What is the significance of this photograph?
Well, it's probably mostly about Guadalcanal, I would say. Yeah.
Looks like everybody's walking through a swamp.
Yeah.
And I understand you're in the photograph here. Is this
We're on patrol there, is what it, you can see where we're going through.
And you're the fourth one from the front?
Yeah, away. I guess I can't see that good even with my glasses.
Okay, here we've zoomed in on the photograph, and here you are, the fourth from the front. This is Joe Reiss on Guadalcanal.
Yeah, I guess that looks a little bit like me. Ernie Pyle was with us there.
Was he?
Yeah.
Ernie Pyle, the
Yeah,
journalist?
yeah.
Who's this a photograph of then, Joe?
That's the old man.
That's you, huh? Okay. Where was the photograph taken?
That was taken in Australia.
I see. And Joe, this is a photograph of you again. Where was it taken and when?
I think in California.
After coming back from overseas?
More than likely. But he had terminal cancer. He died shortly after that.
Joe, this is a photograph of
Yeah.
you, and this is Louise,
Yeah.
commonly known as Susie.
Yeah.
And this was taken where?
That was in Norfolk.
Norfolk, Virginia?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
At your reunion, 1st Marine Division reunion in
Yeah.
1987, is that
Yeah.
right? Do you know who this lady is, or not? You don't recall?
I don't, but I can't remember her name.
I don't know, I forgot who that was.
Joe, what is this plaque about?
That's about the ships that are on over on by Guadalcanal there. Iron Bottom Sound.
This was the landing, the amphibious landing, and
That was the original landing in August 7th, 1942.
okay. Well, again, I want to thank you for participating in the Veterans History Project. This plaque was done by Donald Moss, and you mentioned that after the war he served where?
He worked for Sports Illustrated.
And he was in your unit,
Yeah.
Echo
Well,
Company, right?
he was in our company, then he went to headquarters.
Well, this concludes our interview with Joe Reiss in Grand Haven, Michigan. Joe, I want to thank you for your service
Oh, you're welcome.
during World War II and in the U.S. Marine Corps. And thank you for participating in this Veterans History interview.